welcome you all to the June 2023 meeting of Strategic Police Managers, which is convened to achieve two basic objectives. First is to assess the internal security situation within the country vis-à-vis our policing mandate. Second is to disseminate some emerging strategic and policy-driven directives that will guide our operations toward policing the new Nigerian ideal under the amiable leadership of the new President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Available data and crime analysis between January to May 2023 revealed that the internal security situation of the country is relatively calm and continues to improve with a decline in incidences of major crimes recorded across the 6 geopolitical zones. Excluding the electoral offenses during the last electioneering process in Nigeria, we recorded a total of 1,630 cases which got across major offenses such as terrorism, successionist agenda or successionist attacks, kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, and the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. In addition, during various operations carried out by the operatives of the Nigeria Police Force, within the period being considered or assessed, we have a total of 3,619 suspects which were arrested for their participation in various crimes across the country. 316 victims of kidnapping were rescued during the same period, while 486 assorted firearms consisting of AK-47 rifles and locally fabricated automatic weapons were recovered. Equally, 4,072 assorted caliber of ammunition and other incriminating items linked to various major crimes were also recovered within the same period. Regardless of the quantum of achievements recorded within the period under review and the successful democratic transition or transitioning that happened on the 29th of May, there still remains prevailing and projected threats across the country, including aftermath of the fuel subsidy removal, with the emerging threats of industrial strike action, and consequently, we shall not rest on our oars. Rather, we must redouble our efforts to maintain the needed peace and stability of our democracy. This is critically important as we also prepare for the nation's Democracy Day, which is called June 4th. In so doing, I charge you all to remain focused while monitoring the election tribunals and the proposed industrial action across the country. May it come into fruit. You must develop proactive crime management mechanisms to forestall any untoward acts from political and non-political actors who are bent on not allowing this country to stay in peace. It is imperative to reiterate that with the emergence of a new administration in Nigeria and in most states of the Federation, the Nigeria Police, under my leadership, is duty-bound to align with the security policy and initiatives of Mr. President, which currently requires all security agencies in the country to adopt contemporary security measures. These, of course, include effective synergy and collaboration with other sister security agencies, the intelligence community, and the defense. The President, without mentioning words, has directed that there must be no form of discordance or cross-purpose activities that will engender interagency rivalry in our fight against crime and criminality. As you already know, that these have been one of the strengths of my administration, and it has always turned out to maintain a downward trend in crimes across the country. I therefore implore you all to sustain your official engagements with other sister security agencies and stakeholders within your areas of responsibility. AORs. In order to achieve a whole of society approach towards mitigating, or in order to achieve a whole of society approach towards mitigating crimes in our beloved country. Another critical issue of deliberate or to deliberate upon at this meeting is the menace of criminalizing civil matters by police officers. Since the commencement of this administration, as the Inspector General of Police, I have maintained a stand and rolled out several directives and correspondences to abreast you on the need to streamline our investigation and caution our officers and men against meddling with civil matters, as such land matters, debt collection, matrimonial cases, and matters already pending in court. These are matters that brings a lot of problem to us up to today. We find investigation officers meddling on land matters, matters of inheritance, matters of matrimonial nature, and the cases that are in court are also being investigated by way of maybe the complainant coming without actually stating that this court case is in court. It is the same reason why I forbid transferring of cases from lower commands to higher commands indiscriminately. I assure you that going forward, the post management under my leadership will be doing such professional instruction with more severe disciplinary actions and sanctions that the burden of garnishi orders will rest solely on the individuals involved in such malpractices. You are hereby warned to instill this discipline in your officers and men so that they will not be held vicariously liable as well. In the same vein, the leadership of the force will not condone continuous violation of any of the Nigeria Police Force policy or regulations, especially social media policy of the force, and the oath of secrecy in handling the confidentiality of our correspondences. In our own interest and for the good benefit of the organization, you are all to make this a subject of lecture over and over again to your officers and men. We no longer have secret in the force of any kind. Official correspondences are being forwarded in pages of, let me say not newspapers, but they are all over in the social media. You are all to make this a subject of lecture over and over again, and officers for your officers and men. Anyone caught in the act of disobeying the local orders will have themselves to blame. May I mention that this meeting is a valedictory meeting for two of our Deputy Inspector Generals of Police and some other officers in the force, as they will be retiring soon after their meritorious services to the nation. Consequently, some officers will be promoted to fill the spaces that the retiring officers will be vacating. Therefore, you should all brace up for minor force reorganization very soon, and it will be based on merit and vacancy, as it is the custom of this administration. We recently promoted 31,465 rank and file to their next ranks just last week, while some thousands of inspectors who are due for promotion to ASP are already scheduled for departmental selection board interviews at their various respective zonal headquarters. This shows my firm commitment to promoting officers as at when due in order to boost their morale. At this juncture, I wish to assure the law-abiding citizens of this country of the commitment of the Nigeria Police Force to a peaceful and serene civil space under my watch, as we continue to sustain the framework that has been producing gains recorded in securing our great nation. We shall also continue to leverage on the support of the federal government as we reevaluate our internal security dynamics and adopt our strategies towards ensuring that the current downward trend in crime across the country is sustained.